gathering here is an example of how that local foodman is being helped and assisted. These are entrepreneurs who have a dream, they have a product, they have something that they take from their childhood or something that is important to them, and they use it as an opportunity. Several of them had lost employment opportunities, and they decided they would become their own boss. And this kitchen basically gives them the capacity and the ability to get started. It's much like an incubator or a business park in a university with a commercial product. This is just a food product, and it's an amazing opportunity. And as we've seen with the success that's developed here, they start small, and then over time they begin to expand, and they perhaps move to a different kitchen, a larger kitchen. They're able to produce more. Eventually, they are able to hire, or be able to hire folks, and then be able to expand into a commercial-sized operation. So it's a really exciting opportunity to see what the university is doing and how much help they're providing.
Mr. Secretary, this is a good example of cooperative extension offices and extension offices working with small business to help rural economies. What do you think about that?
Well, the extension service is something that when I travel overseas, I'm often struck by how frequently people will say, we wish we had extension in our country. I think sometimes we take extension for granted. It does a tremendous job of providing opportunity. I was particularly interested in seeing here today the resurrection of canning as a lost art, extension helping folks who are now expressing an interest because they're selling to a farmer's market. They need to know how to do that properly. There are risks associated with not doing it properly. And so the fact that the extension provides a school, if you will, to make sure folks do it properly is important. And it's one of a multitude of services that extension provides.
Obviously, Tennessee farmers were hit hard in the drought this summer. What are some of the things that you all are working on to help them out?
Well, when the drought hit, the President asked me to provide as much help and assistance to producers as I possibly could. So the first thing we did was to streamline the disaster declaration process, which would make Tennessee producers and others available for disaster loans. We reduced the interest rate on disaster loans. We encouraged the SBA and the farm and the credit unions to get involved in providing credit extension for operations. We provided flexibility with CRP, Conservation Reserve Program, so that livestock producers would be able to access additional forage by bringing land which normally wouldn't be allowed for forage into the process. We gave flexibility for those producers to use it for barter, exchange, or sale. We lowered the cost, the repayment responsibility when CRP land is used in that way, from 25% to 10%. We worked with the organic industry to provide some help and assistance because they also got hit by drought. We used conservation dollars, focusing them on drought-stricken areas to encourage deeper wells, water resources, but our capacity is somewhat limited. Even though we created flexibility in our crop insurance program to provide for double cropping next year so that forage will be more readily available, despite all of that, we still have work to do, but we need the passage of a farm bill. The farm bill would reinstitute important disaster programs. It would provide a new opportunity for dairy producers to get assistance. It would also provide some degree of assistance and help for specialty crop producers who have been particularly hit by the drought. Fortunately for us, the crop producers have crop insurance. The vast majority of them have crop insurance, and that's going to mitigate somewhat the impact of the drought. And the fact that our farmers are using new technologies and new techniques, our yields are likely to be a little bit higher than we would have anticipated in the middle of the drought during the summer. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
One word to set up this morning?
One word?
Yeah.
I can't do it. It's one word wouldn't do it. If I did one word here, it would be yum.
Well, somebody told me to ask you about fruit pies.
Well, I purchased a few of them, and you know, it's in our family. Both of our boys couldn't leave the home until they were able to produce a pie from scratch. The crust, the filling. Their mother felt that that was an appropriate thing for them to be self-sufficient, if you will, in terms of their ability to bake. I'm not sure they've baked another pie since, but they've baked at least one from scratch.
Thank you.